So in 10 months, you went full time. We're just talking off air, and yeah, you went full time really in September. And in that time, you've got about 19 deals that you've put together in that time frame, which is amazing, which is why I wanted to have you on the show. So let's unpack all of that. So let's get right into it. Give people the meat, the potatoes that they love. And I know you've got to run off to a closing because all you do is win. Would you agree?
I try. We try to.
I love it. So real quick, what market are you in? Where do you sell real estate?
We are in Jacksonville, Florida, in between that St. Augustine and Ponte Vedra pocket. So
Cool.
all beaches.
I love it. Lucky you. Lucky you. So break down the business. I know you sent me a nice email with all your notes, but high level, if you broke down the business, where's the business coming from?
So in terms of categories, strong for sale by owner, expireds, we just started dabbling in those. And then believe it or not, referrals from those listings, expireds and FISBIS. We've had maybe one or two sphere of influence.
Awesome. So you're going out there and converting strangers into clients, turning those clients into raving fans, and they're referring you clients. So, which is a great business model because you jumped into this in 10 short months, you're able to do the business that you've been doing. So of all the paths that you could have taken, right, there's all kinds of paths of least resistance. You took the path of most resistance, which is direct outbound prospecting, which obviously the proof is in the pudding that it has worked for you. But what led you down this path versus the ones that maybe seem shinier and sexier?
Yeah. So, I'm not going to knock lead generation, paying for leads. That's an awesome source. I just found myself driving around. If you've ever been to Florida, it's hotter than hell. And I realized after sweating, driving around two buyers, that was not for me. And so I decided that I needed to be in charge of when I go out, it has a purpose. Again, for me, not knocking people who work with buyers, that's great. But I wanted to work with people who really needed help selling their home and making sure they made the most money in the most respectable amount of time. And then working with them as buyers was more appropriate use of my time. So I started out, I don't even know how I found you. Thank God for YouTube. And I found you, and I'll be brutally honest. I was like, this can't be right. Let me try his game. And I did. So for those of you out there that are new, and you will hear Brandon say, jump in the freaking pool. So I watched one video, listened to you, and I was like, okay, shit, I'm gonna try this. So I rolled out. I had no idea what I was doing. I found myself on a 9-acre horse ranch. I don't deal in horse ranches, but I do now. And I had a conversation with the guy and kept it simple and used your technique. And we listed. And from that moment forward, we never looked back, and then decided, hey, he taught me for free. Let's see what he can do when I pay him. And it's just been amazing.
That's great. And thank you for the kind words. And I'm glad you're being just honest and transparent, which is what I want you always to be. And so how did you get over, and maybe you didn't have the mental hurdle that a lot of new agents have with that fear of rejection, right? That call reluctance. I mean, you jumped into the pool, and when you started taking listings, I mean, you're like the listing queen in our group now. So was there a mindset issue, or were you able to push through it somehow?
So, let's be transparent as we talk about. I was a recruiter in my day before COVID, and that just totally got derailed. So I'm not uncomfortable being on the phone. However, this is a totally different industry. So yes, there was call reluctance. Anybody who tells you there's not, send them to me. I need to have a conversation.
That's right.
But what I did is I listened to your tools of just, hey, let's just focus on having 30 conversations. Once I went to that performance and detached from the results, and anybody that knows me in Florida that hears that, they're going to say, she says it all the time. But that was true. When you said that, it really impacted me. And I decided I'm going to make my 30 conversations. I'm going to be impactful. And then I'm going to let the results speak for themselves. Once I was so far detached, it literally just became like, okay, I got to get up 8 o'clock, got to make calls. I got to get my 30 contacts in. I got to go do the next thing. I got to do my listing appointments. It's like one foot in front of the other. You learn how to ride a bike, you just ride the bike.
Love it. That's amazing. So why don't you walk us through? So in the morning you get up and you're just a great energy inside of our community because you're waking up, you're working out, you're posting stuff. And what are you doing when it comes to work and you're making your 30 conversations? Break that prospecting down for us, how you're able to stay focused and not be and fight distractions. And then who are you calling?
Okay. So number one, I will say that, I'm an avid runner, but I'd fallen off the tracks. So if you join Brandon, you're going to start working out too. So what I found was when I was fatigued, I didn't have energy to do anything. So I said, all right, stop now. If he's getting up early, I'm getting up early. So I started getting up at 5:30 because 5 a.m. is just a little too awkward. So when I get up, I just listen to something motivational. You always have some little thing you're doing, and then a couple other people I listen to. And then I organize my lead pool. So I literally focus on FSBO for sale by owner, now expireds. I work on my follow-up, my circle prospecting, and the genius button you gave us. Now that I have all these listings, it's so nice to be able to call around those listings where your signs up, your picture's out there and they know you, and have those conversations. And then of course, following up on all those leads that we've been generating. So it looks like I'm a listing queen now, but what they didn't see was what we were doing in the dark in my office with the door shut and that 3 to 6 month time that you have to put in to get your harvest back.
Just gave me goosebumps. I mean, I couldn't even say it better than you. And that was amazing. You guys go rewind, go listen to that over and over again. 3 to 6 months of work you got no praise for by yourself
in my little office bedroom that I converted to an office. And I had to stay out of the office. For me, that was distractions.
Absolutely. And that was the price you were willing to pay to now reaping the rewards. And so I don't want to lose track of kind of the process. So you're having these conversations. You don't have to get too deep on the scripts, but what is your approach that leads you to having sellers want to meet with you? What is the skill set, the mindset, the conversation that gets these people to say, yeah, you know what, we would like to meet with you?
So Brandon, the number one thing is just being real. Scripts drive me crazy. They're a great launch pad, right? Like the diving board doesn't make you dive in the pool better. It just is a vessel to get you there. So just being really upfront, and what I've learned from working with you in our group is keeping it very simple. I think when we get nervous, we start talking too much, too fast, and then we just lose them and they're done. So just very simple, build a relationship, get to know them briefly and what they need. And then based on the scripts we have, we can kind of formulate, okay, what package am I dealing with and how do I help them unpack it instead of going in forcing a conversation?
Smart, super smart. Just offering to be of value, going to meet with people, not overthinking it. I love it. So the strategy that you find that works best, are you setting an appointment, which we call a discovery appointment, having a good conversation, following up and getting the listing, or are you going to the appointment one time, getting the listing on the first appointment? Normally.
The driven Italian girl in me is, let's cut to the chase. So I tried the preview thing. I found myself just going right into a listing. So I prefer now. So let me back up because somebody new might be watching.
Yeah.
I think preview appointments are great when you're new because you don't even know how to do a market analysis. So those are great when you start. Now I found that I'm able to have the opportunity to qualify my business and determine who would be the best use of my services and could benefit best. So I'll have that right into a conversation of, hey, let's talk. Are you open to, if something makes sense, let's work together.
Yeah, super smart.
And go right in.
And so you're able to have a much higher quality appointment than when you first started, when I asked you, just get out there, meet with people, get some reps, get some confidence. While we're building your skills, now you got the skills. You don't have to go meet with every Tom, Dick, and Harry. You're meeting with the right people. Yeah. So of the appointments you go on, roughly how many come from your lead follow-up activities versus the first time you talk to somebody? Are you finding that the majority of these higher quality appointments are coming from following up with folks for maybe a couple of weeks? Or do you get most of them for the first time you've ever talked to them?
Right now, Brandon, because my business is so new, I'm getting them in that first meeting. Again, it's
No,
because,
no, first call. I'm sorry. So on the
okay,
phone. So when you're
on
making
the
all these,
phone,
yeah,
I'm typically getting, if let's say I talk to 10, I know for sure I'm walking away with 2 to 3 appointments
that's great.
set within the next 24 to 48 hours. So I've had to be careful and talk to you about reducing how I do my calls now. So that's a good problem to have.
That's right. So you're able to set a lot of your appointments on that first contact. And so that's what's so exciting is as you're building a pipeline of leads of people that aren't ready to meet yet, those haven't even started to harvest yet either, because you're getting
Right.
all now business, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And then we're getting the referrals. So I'm assuming and I'm projecting, I'm not assuming, I'm projecting. In the next 3 to 4 months, when the world is panicking because it's the holiday time, I'm pretty sure I'll be out there picking a harvest from those follow-ups.
Yeah, I love it. So with all the business you're doing in Jacksonville, Florida, what type of how many deals do you think you're going to end up with in 2022?
So in 2022, now that we're at 19, the goal is to push hard. I'd like to see us at 25. I think that's reasonable.
Sure.
Our stretch goal is 30. Next year, we're taking no less than 50. We're just going for it.
So 50 deals in Jacksonville. What type of income would that represent for an agent that does 50 deals in Jacksonville, Florida?
So in the structure that I'm working in terms of, price per listing, I can tell you right now, very candidly, I've tripled my income in 10 months from my full-time job where I was getting beat to crap on the phone.
Wow.
Next year, that would probably look like close to 400,000 to 500,000, and my husband being able to, I won't say what he said his title's going to be, but we've dressed it up to executive transaction assistant.
Ah, there you go. I love it. You can tell me off air what you're really calling.
I'll tell you off air what he called himself.
So honestly, what does your friends and your family think of the new version of Gigi? Not just financially speaking, but the mindset you have, the zest for life that you have, the leader you're becoming, and certainly the income that you're bringing into this household. How do people think about that?
So it's two-part, right? So when you're in a growth moment, whether it's financially, professionally, personally, be prepared because the circle's here and you become here. And I've gotten to be really okay with that. And what's great is the ones that are sitting at that table have earned a spot and we're gaining value from one another. So I'd say that I've always been a confident person. It's made me even more confident that the circle can be small. And Gigi doesn't have to be at everything and say yes to everything, right, Brandon?
That's
it's okay
right.
to say, no, that's not in my journey today. So I think they've seen that. And then the third thing that I think is most important, because the money's great, right? It's sexy. It's great.
Yep.
Being able to give.
That's right.
The foundations and not be worried, oh, do we have the money? That to me has been probably the most incredible feeling to go, hey, you need $5,000 for your support. Hey, here it is.
Yeah. Just living a life of abundance. It's so
it's
inspiring.
Just great. And you're in charge of you. My boss can be kind of mean.
Yeah.
She can also be kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly. So one piece of advice, Gigi, if you could go back, get licensed all over again, that Gigi, knowing what you know now and having the experience that maybe other new agents could benefit from, what would you tell them? And what would you tell yourself if you got relicensed all over again?
It's 3 simple things. 1, make a plan. 2, put the plan in action right away. 3, evaluate your results. Track that daily to see if you're on the right track and find a mentor. This is not a push or a plug for you, but I mean this sincerely. Get a coach, guys. It will change your world to have to answer to somebody on your goals. So accountability is probably the biggest, but you got to start with those 3 ahead of it.
Yeah, love it. I love it. Hey, listen, you have been such a joy in our world, in our community. I am very sincerely honored to be by your side on this journey with you. And so thank you for doing this, pouring back into the real estate agent community. And I am excited to watch you flourish and hit every life goal that you have. So thank you so much for doing this. And we really appreciate it.
For sure. And can't wait to see all the next interviews and see everyone else growing too, because it's so exciting to watch other people win. It really
100%,
is.
100%. So appreciate you. Have an awesome day.
You
and
too.
I'm sure we'll see you soon. All right, Gigi, thank you so much. Bye-bye.